What is up and welcome back, and today we have a very good video for everybody. It's going to be the review of the Flydigi supercharged laptop cooler BS1. Now this is going to be a new product from Flydigi, and I did receive it as a promo, but this video is going to be very objective. I am going to give you my honest opinion if I think this product is a good product or a bad product. But I do want to get it out the way after thoroughly reviewing it first at home and trying it out. I am going to say I was very impressed how well it performed, and I am going to show you at the end of the video how well it stacks up against the IETS GT600 and the Llano V12. Those are higher end coolers with a price tag somewhat pricey, best performance out there right now, and we're going to see how well this one stacks against those. So to begin, some details. The price tag for this cooler is going to be $100 USD, and you do expect quality for that price. Now, when I did get the packaging, I was very happy that it looks very professional, nicely packaged with foam, no problems there, came nicely secure. You also do get some pamphlets and a couple instructions, illustrations. It is going to be in Chinese, the one I received, but with the pictures you can figure out what you need to do, and also you can go online, for example on the Amazon webpage, and find all this information in English. So you do have two ways of doing it if you're trying to get more information and insights. So that right there is very nice, no issues for me. And some of the things that come inside the box is going to be, for example, this USB-C cable, which is going to be for powering up your device. And I do have to say, it does not come with a charging block, so you are going to need to have one at your house with USB-C, and the wattage for it at least be 18 watts, so you can use and take full advantage of the power of this cooler. So make sure you get that, and if you don't have it, it is going to increase the price somewhat more, right? It could be an extra $10, or depending which one you get, it could be even up to 15 or 20, because there are charging blocks that are somewhat pricey. So I'm going to say 100 USD, and you have to buy a block, maybe 110, 115. Also, you are going to get a foam pad that comes with it, and we're going to go into more details about the foam later on when we test the performance. But as you can tell, very nice product so far. How well does it perform? That's coming up next. We can start off by having a close-up of the build so we can see the quality of this cooler. So I'm going to say, when you start touching this laptop cooler, it does feel very solid, right? The materials, like I said, I do like the quality of them. This is what the back looks like. If you're wondering, it is just going to be a connection for the USB-C. Kind of looks like a PlayStation a little bit, right? When you look at it from the back. We turn it around, back to the front. And one thing I do want to point out about this laptop cooler is that it does extend like this for different sizes. So if you do have a 15, I did try on a 15, no problem. A 16, I also have a 16, so no problem at all. It fit nicely. And it can fit a 17 also. Just by looking at it, when I put the 16, a 17 is not going to be an issue. So it does tailor to different sizes, right? Bigger sizes, and then the ones I mentioned. But there is going to be a little issue that I figured right here. It does wobble a little bit, but when you do have the laptop sitting right here, it's mainly going to sit along this compartment right here. You don't get that wobbling effect. You might get it actually if you do use the keyboard, right? You're pressing down. That can possibly happen. Or if you are using the trackpad, right? You're pressing down on the trackpad a little too hard, then you might get this wobbling effect, perhaps if you do have a heavier touch. Now I'm going to say, if you are a gamer and you're getting this, or maybe you are somebody who works in editing video and you do have a separate keyboard right here in front of you and an extra mouse, a gaming mouse perhaps, then this is not going to be an issue at all. This is only going to be an issue if you are putting your weight on it like we mentioned. Maybe for the next model, make this a little bit more longer for extra support. Then that right there would just be a nice add-on right there. Like I said, I do like the build, the quality of it. Very solid material right here, this hard plastic. I also didn't want to forget to mention that this laptop cooler also comes with stands in the back. As you can tell, you can angle it from 0 degrees being flat all the way to 10, the 20, and the 30. And that right there is going to be nice. You know, some laptop users do like having their laptop angled. And I'll show you what the back looks like. The stands are going to be right here. They are hidden in this compartment. And all you got to do is pull them out and then just set it to the height that you want. So, very nice detail. A lot of high-end laptop coolers have stands, and this one is not going to be no different. Another detail that I wanted to bring up is going to be the foam that it does come with. As you can tell, the foam is not going to be as thick as other laptop coolers, or laptop coolers is more thicker. I'll show you the IETS. You can see it right here. It is more thicker, and the Llano one's going to be a little bit higher also. Now, the first thought that you might have is, well, the foam is not as thick, so most likely some air is going to escape. And it does come with an extra foam insert that arrive like this. Now, if you do feel you want to add some more foam right here along the middle, you can definitely cut it, right? But you're going to want to have this area out in the open, right? You're not going to want nothing covering where the fans are releasing the air, the wind. But definitely you can add this right here if you feel you need a little bit of extra more foam, or even perhaps you can cut some of it and add it right here if that's something you wanted to do. But this is going to be my overall take about the foam. Actually, when you do set your laptop on top, it does a very nice job of sealing the air. And the only air that I could feel escaping was from the vents from my laptop. So it does a very nice job of sealing once you put your laptop on top. So the thickness of the foam is not going to be a concern. And when you take a look at this laptop cooler, at first glance you might think it has two fans, one on each side. But in actuality, it's just going to be one turbo fan for the whole unit. The design might have two vents on each side, but it does work in a type of system where the air starts spinning and starts getting pressured, and then it starts escaping along these two fans. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be one fan that does all the work. So to begin this performance test, we do have the laptop set up and turned on. Also, I did use the extensions to fit my 16-inch laptop. This one's going to be a Legion. It is going to be a modern laptop, a Legion Pro 7 Gen 8 with a Ryzen 9 and a RTX 4090. So that's what you can expect with this machine. Now, the readings that I am getting right now is going to be 41 for the graphics card, and then 49 or 50 for the processor. And for the core temp, we are going to get around, it's 59 and sometimes 55. So 41 and 50, and then 55 or 59. It does kind of fluctuate, a little bit more accurate with the core temp. So with that said, let's turn on the game and let's get those readings as well. So there we go, we're now in game. The game I'm using is going to be Halo Infinite. I did leave the game running for a while. And you can see right here that I'm also in the same map, in the same settings. So I am trying to recreate the same testing conditions that I did for the previous laptop coolers. And as you can tell also, the graphics card is going to be 74 or 75 degrees Celsius. Then we're going to have 78 or 79 degrees Celsius for the processor. It jumped to 80 right now. So we can do a average 78, the 80, or 81, because I did see it jump to 81 earlier also. Now for core temp, as you know, core temp measures all the cores separately, and for this machine, this laptop, we do have 16 cores. So the overall that is giving me for the Ryzen 9 is going to be 84 degrees Celsius. So a summary, graphics card 73, 74, processor, let's say around 79, and then core temp 84. So now let's find out how well this laptop cooler can benefit this laptop. And now the readings that we're getting with the cooler at max speeds is going to be 66 or 67 for the graphics card, and then 72, around 72, 71 for the processor. Even drop to 70 right there. And right here for the CPU, for Core 10, we do have 78, 79, I even seen 80 or 77. Right now it's at 77. Like I said, it does fluctuate at times. I even did see it at 84 or 89. So we are going to do an average of this reading for the Core 10. The lowest was 77 for a brief moment. So overall, 66, 67 for the graphics, 71, 72 for the processor, and then the average of 77 all the way to 85 or so for core temp. Not bad at all. I am very impressed with the output so far. Now we're going to test the dB levels to see how loud the fan can be. So now for this next section, we're going to be looking at how these laptop coolers look for the lighting. Right here, I am going to turn on the BS1 so you can see the RGB. It's not going to be a whole lot of RGB, mainly going to be on the sides, and you don't have any control of it, right? It's just going to be pretty much the stock lighting effect, and we'll turn it on. That's going to be for setting 1, setting 2, setting 3, and then the max setting. And I just think that looks real nice, especially if you are going to be having that side view. I'll turn it around so you can see what that looks like. So that's going to be that side view. And if you think about it, if you are on your laptop and you are using the cooler, you're mainly going to see the lighting effect from the side of you. If somebody's looking at you, they're going to see it mainly from the sides, maybe a little bit from the front if they do have an angle for you, right? But it's mainly going to be for the sides. So the BS1 kind of caters to that type of look. More simple, still modern looking, very sleek. I do like it a whole lot. It is different. And for the other models, you definitely get more control over the RGB. You get a whole bunch of different settings that you can choose from, manually change them. And I did cover that in a previous video where I do compare the Llano and the IETS. But if you are looking for something completely different, it's going to be the BS1. As you can tell, different type setup. Does look very different than the IETS and the Llano. So now you can decide what's going to be best for your liking. And one more time, I am going to do the changes so you can see what that looks like from the side. It is going to be setting 1, setting 2, 3, and then max power right there. I just think all these laptop coolers are very fantastic, but the main focus of this video is going to be this one, and for me this one passes the test most definitely. So overall, how well did the Flydigi laptop cooler do, the BS1 model? It actually surprised me a whole lot. It performed very well against these giants, the IETS GT600. Then we have the Llano version 12. And like I said, it's very surprising because it is a newer company that I haven't heard about with a completely different design. When you take a look at them, right, these look very similar, but this one looks different. Yet it does have similar characteristics. For example, it does have a giant turbo fan just like these. It's not as obvious as underneath it because it does have a different type of technology for the sound reduction. So how well did it stack up? Very nicely for the sound reduction. You do get around 6 to 10 dBs less than the IETS. Then you do get around 8 to 12 dBs difference from the Llano V12. So this is going to be the front runner if you are looking for something that's going to be more quieter. And it can go up to 3000 RPMs and still maintain around 66 to 69 dB. So that's not going to be bad at all. Like I said, this is the new front runner if you are looking for something quieter, but that also has power. Now, how well did it do for performance? It did real well, and it actually stacked up pretty evenly with the IETS GT600 pretty evenly. It can reduce the graphics card to 66 degrees Celsius and the processor to 72. Now this one, it was able to do it for 66 degrees Celsius for the graphics card and then 71 degrees for the processor. So not bad at all. Very nice, very equal. Compared with the Llano is actually still going to be the better performer because they can do 61 for the graphics card and then 65 for the processor. So this one's going to be better performance overall. But if sound reduction is very important for you, because it is for me, As you know, with the previous models, when I did test them out, I did mention that my wife is very sensitive to noise, especially the fans going. I can't have the fans going at full speed, not even very low settings, because if she is reading a book or watching a show, it does affect her. Now I do have something that can be more quieter than both these two units, so that's going to be a nice plus for me, because I can actually have it turned on. It's not going to be as loud. Also, if you are trying to do work at night or gaming, having these blasting when you are doing a heavy load, it is going to sound very loud. She's actually going to know I'm up doing work or having some fun, right? So this right here is going to be a nice addition to keep the noise level down. So like I said, overall, I'm very impressed with this one. It has a lot of good things going for it. We did talk about a couple of issues with maybe it wobbling a little bit. But once the laptop is set, and if you definitely aren't going to be putting weight on it, it's very solid. So I do highly recommend it for the noise reduction. This is going to be the best that's out there right now if you are looking for a machine that's powerful and cooling, and also in keeping the noise level down. The Flydigi Supercharged Laptop Cooler BS1, going to be one of the best pickups out there, and the price tag is just 100 USD. So there you have it, and hopefully you were able to get something out of this video. And if you did, please sub and like. I am a smaller channel, and every little bit goes a long way. We'll be back next time with more. Until then, peace and much love.